Guy that caught the game winner last week against the Gators, totally unheard from this game until that play. So they pull him out. They pull him out of the hat when they need him.
You want to talk about a perfect play right there.
Play fake, froze the linebackers.
Froze them because you know what? They had run on the last two plays, and they worked. So they were pretty close, 3 yards away. Why not run the ball? No, no, no. You throw it from outside the red zone, and that ball was put on a tee for Craig. On a tee. It was about as perfect a throw as you can get.
Okay, well, we're going for the extra point now, and to make it basically 20-0, and that's going to be a tough comeback.
That's a backbreaker, I think.
So that's a third big catch, or third big throw rather, by Pete. He rolls left again, throws back right, incomplete. So we're at 19-0. I think Pete's got to get it with the 3 touchdown passes. Okay, so here we go. East Orange kicking off to the Wildcats. And that hits Matt's leg at the 3-yard line. And, oh, man.
Let it go. Let it go. The momentum was pushing that ball through the end zone. It was going onto the track. Let it go.
So now a cerebral team, or a team that we've called cerebral, not playing smart right now.
They're in their own heads now. East Orange Rec is in their heads. They're in their own heads. And they can't get that calm cerebral that we've talked about before. They think about every play. Now they're thinking too much about every play, and they're overthinking.
You know, we're starting to run out of words up here at this point. No, I certainly didn't expect 20-0 at this point. I expected a tough defensive battle, but they put up 20 points on a very good defensive team.
A sensational defensive team that's proven it all season long. Now, both of these teams came in at 6-2. Neither team had played the other team during the season. Like I said, both 6-2. East Orange Rec was the #1 offensive team that 193 points scored on the season. The Wildcats defense only allowed 82 points all season. They've allowed 19 so far in this game.
Luigi, there's a quick hitter, and that's a short hopper. And you know, does it look to you like the Wildcats are starting to surrender here?
I don't think this team has a surrender in them, but I think if there is any form of it, it's starting to happen now. But it does say something. When the Wildcats have only allowed 82 points this season, and they've allowed 19 so far in this game, they've allowed almost a quarter of their points this season in this one game.
And a half, a little bit more than a half. It was about 7 minutes left in this game. So now time definitely becoming a factor here. And the Wildcats, again, they're taking way too much time in the huddle. You can see them still huddled up. You need 3 scores. I would think you'd go into a hurry-up kind of offense.
Luigi looks tired back there. He was just kind of hunched over in the huddle, kind of wiping the sweat away. He looks a little gassed.
Takes a snap, drops back in his own end zone. Over the middle to Williams. There's a quick pull right there at the 5-yard line.
But Angelo Williamson seems to be on every play as the guy who's open for the Wildcats. Nobody else is getting open.
No, I have not seen. Plush has been a non-factor in this game. I don't even see him on the field right now.
He's over on the sideline. I'm curious if that twisted ankle that he had
bothering him too much
on that first punt of the game, the one that went through the end zone, I'm a little curious if that's still lingering.
Well, at any rate, he's an explosive threat both offensively and defensively. He's not even on the field right now. So I got to believe you're right. There's got to be something physical there. Here's a great catch by Matt. Does he force his way for the first down? Let's see where the ref spots it. And we just got word from the sideline that it's either a hammy or a quad on Plush, so his return is doubtful.
They're calling it 4th and 1. I guess it looked like an East Orange Rec player that kicked the pylon there as opposed to Matt, which would have given him the first down.
And again, here's a 4th and 1 play. They have to go for it, and if they don't get this first down, you're giving East Orange the game inside the 20. And we're listening to Hot Rod out on the field there. Coach on the field. arguing his case with the sidelines. You're up 19-0. There's not much to argue about.
Hot Rod's been the one all game on the sideline. If the ref made a call, he said, don't let it affect us. We have to win this game. There's Jack with a night catch.
And there's a pull there, and that's a first down now. And let's see if the Wildcats go into some kind of hurry up here.
I mean, time's ticking. It's really ticking, and it's not working in their favor in any way, shape, or form right now.
Okay, now they're getting to the line right away. Time, though, definitely becoming a factor here.
If I'm Luigi, I'm going to any kind of setup audible that they've set up throughout the season here. You just got to let it go, rush the line.
Takes the snap, pumps, steps up. A look-away pass attempt there by Luigi that falls incomplete.
The two closest guys were dressed in black for East Orange Rec.
Closer to the defenders than the receivers. Receiver, there was only one in the area, but again, this team now, you play with a 19-0 lead. I think you get a little energy boost, and you seem to be playing with a lot more confidence now. You can take some chances with that lead that you might not necessarily take in a closer game.
And we talked about it a few plays ago for East Orange Rec. Do you sit back on your laurels when you have this kind of lead and let them creep back in the game? They haven't. They've kept pushing, and their defense keeps standing strong and not allowing the Wildcats to do anything.
Okay, here's Luigi. Takes a snap, drops back, looking, rolling. Now he's going to take off and run, headed for that first down marker. He's not going to get it, but he's going to get awful close. Okay, so let's call it about 3 yards short of the first down.
Even 2 yards short.
So Luigi taking basically what was given to him. Everybody was covered downfield again. And he took off and sprinted, so we got it. You're right. And there's a timeout now being called by Luigi, and that's a timeout. He's just tired.
He's gassed. And it's partially because every play so far in the second half, I think he's had to scramble to one side or the other. And
who said that? Maybe that's why he left. You'll never see him in an ACFL game again. All right, here we go. Luigi takes the snap, throws over the middle. Oh, that's going to be caught by Brian. Great. Oh, and we're going to get a hold, and he's still loose. And there it is. Touchdown, Wildcats. That penalty will be assessed on the kickoff. So finally, the Wildcats break through and score a touchdown.
It's about time. Maybe this jump starts him, but a nice little run route there by Brian, and he just cuts it up. You got to give East Orange Rec credit because they tried for the pulls, but they missed them. A couple of guys, I think 2 or 3 guys miss on the pulls here, and then Brian just runs the rest of the way, and East Orange Rec just said, forget about it, because they threw the flags. They just let it go and let him go right into the end zone.
Well, they're going to assess this penalty on the kickoff, I'm sure. They have a choice of having it assessed on the extra point or the kickoff. My guess is going to be
you go kickoff.
Assess it on the kickoff. They'll be kicking basically from midfield. All right, so this is actually a pretty big extra point.
It's huge.
Luigi takes a snap. There's Bubba off the edge. Luigi throws. Matt, point. That's a great play. Luigi forced the defender to come up on the run. As soon as the defender committed to Luigi, Matt was open in the back.
Luigi read it beautifully the entire way, and he pushed off to his left again. That's not the direction he wants to go in, but he had enough time, drew the defender, managed to set himself straight, and find Matt in the back of the end zone.
Okay, kicking off from the 35. Oh.
Oh.
I don't understand this at all. What? Can you think of any logical explanation for that?
None. Other than a terrible mistake. That's so unfortunate for the Wildcats. You finally get great position to pin them deep, and you kick it out of bounds.
All right, so with about 4 minutes left in this game, and East Orange still in control position here, first and short. And there's a great pull there by Jamie Voigt. So maybe the strategy was, I still can't think of a strategy. You could have pulled the flag back there as easy as you pulled it up here.
But the midfield area has been tough for both teams so far in this game. And it's the no man's land territory that we've been talking about, because if you pin them there, they're more likely to go for it here and turn the ball over right around the midfield mark than they are back there. And if you get a good punt, it could roll back. So you never know. I don't know what he was doing, but there could be some strategy used there.
Let's hope there was some strategy. Pete gets a snap. He drops back. He pumps. Now he steps up. And there's another sack.
There's Jack.
Sack right there.
Jack the sack on that play. He rolls through. Pete was playing happy feet back there. Rolls to the left, rolls to the right. Jump this, jump that, jump this, jump that. And then the flag gets pulled by Jack.
Well, now the Wildcats have one timeout left plus a 2-minute warning. So they need to force the Wildcats into a punt situation here. You know, I think right now there's a little bit too much coaching going on the sidelines here. We have a lot of people wanting to run this team.
Oh, way off. Jamie Voigt.
Yep. All right, so here we go. That's a free 5 yards for East Orange.
I'll tell you though, Joe, Mike, our outstanding cameraman, makes a good point. There could be more penalty yards in this game than actual yards.
Wouldn't surprise me. Pete gets the snap, drops back. He's looking short. There's a great catch by Nana. And there's a first down. And that's a first down on a great catch and run by Nana. Pete again hitting the short man on the right flat, letting his receiver make a play.
We've talked about it all season long. Give the receiver the ball. Let his legs do the work. That's his job. Breathable.
Pete is the MVP. All right, so here we go. We have a first down now for East Orange, and they could pretty much put it away with a score. Nana up the middle, breaks a tackle, gets about 4 yards. So now they're working on the clock. They're doing everything you're supposed to do with a 2-touchdown lead.
And the Wildcats just burned their final timeout. So they have 0 timeouts left. 15 yards for East Orange Rec to the 20, and they could burn out the rest of this game.
Pete takes the snap.
Get about 3 on that play.
I think the flag was pulled behind the line of scrimmage.
Behind the
there.
line.
You can see a flag there. But again, keeps the clock running.
No more time. I think the important key there is no more timeouts for the Wildcats. As long as if East Orange Rec, technically even if they don't get there, get to the 20-yard line, I really think it's a 12-point game.
And there's a 2-minute warning that was just
2-minute
given.
warning.
So there are now officially 2 minutes left in the game.
I think you want to shoot for the 20 because then you can just kneel it out the rest of the way.
Kneel it out at the 20 if they achieve the 20.
You don't want to give them any chance.
Wildcats credit, they're playing it out to the end. They're not surrendering. They're not quitting. Crazier things have happened. All right, so here we go on a big conversion here. Let's see if the Wildcats can East Orange can ice this game. Takes the snap, and that's going to be a hold in the backfield. Clock is continuing to run.
If you're East Orange Rec, punt the ball. You don't want to take a delay of game here because, I mean, it's obviously not necessary. It looked like somebody called a timeout here. Was it East Orange Rec?
Clock run down to the 1-second mark on the play clock and then call timeout. All right, so East Orange letting the play clock run to the last second, calling a timeout, make sure they set their punt team up. There's a snap. Oh, almost a layout, and there's going to be running into the kicker, and essentially that roughing the kicker. All right, go back on. And that roughing the kicker is going to give East Orange the ball. They kneel it out. The ball game is over. Flag beat champions, East Orange Rec. We'll be down on the field with interviews in just a minute.